If you're done investing hours and hours and your whole sanity into a little bit of sourdough bread just to save a few dollars, but still want a delicious, fluffy bread for your family without all the weird ingredients and all the sugar, stick around because this one might be for you. I actually just started baking bread here in the US when we moved here from Germany because I'm sorry, I know I have a lot of US viewers, but your bread here is just not very good. And I was not willing to pay $13 for one loaf of sourdough bread at Whole Foods. But I also didn't want to invest super much time and effort into my bread. Maybe you know the Pareto principle where you say you get 80% of the result with 20% of the effort. I think that is kind of how I'm doing it. And I think I found a pretty good way to combine an easy way to make bread with a cheap way to make bread, but it still tastes delicious. So we get all the best of all the worlds without all the effort that we need to put in the breads. So today we are going to make two different bread recipes, one with sourdough and one with yeast, and they are both inspired by my family's recipes. So my grandmother's father, he owned a bakery in northern Germany before World War II. Sadly, he didn't return from the war and the bakery was destroyed, but somehow the passion for baking still runs in this family. Probably he would also criticize some things in my baking style, but yeah. So I would say let's start. I'm going to list all the detailed ingredients in the description box below. And before we really dive in, don't forget to subscribe and like if you're interested in our German frugal lifestyle here in the US. Retire early. So when you're interested in personal finances and the German lifestyle and some good food, then stick around. This is Herbert. I call him Herbert. Herbert. So in German, I would say Herbert. Herbert is like my sweet little roommate or pet. So he's a living being. He needs to be fed from time to time. But unlike other roommates that don't contribute anything to the household, he has actually a pretty good job because he is rising the bread dough naturally. You can actually make one yourself with flour and water. You can just feed it for a couple of days and then the fermentation process will start to kick in. You can also just buy a sourdough starter. A lot of people just keep it nice and warm on the counter and feed it every single day, but I feel like that's a waste of resources. So since my Herbert is in northern German, he can stand the cold and wait in the fridge for about 5 to 6 days until he needs to be fed the next time. So I usually only feed him once a week, the day before I bake. When I started first with sourdough bread baking, I was so overwhelmed by all the timing stuff. So I basically take the starter out of the fridge the night before I want to bake the bread. So after I took it out of the fridge, I'm feeding it with 50 grams of whole wheat flour. I just feel like whole wheat flour gives the starter a little bit more to chew on so that I don't need to feed Herbert as often as I would have to feed him if he would sit on the counter because the temperature would speed up the fermentation process. And I feel like in whole wheat flour, there are a little bit more nutrients. So yeah, that Herbert has a little bit more to eat. So I prefer whole wheat flour, but you can also just take white flour. And I'm going to mix it with water. And then I just gonna let it sit overnight on the counter and wait until the starter is like doubling its size.
A few moments later.
My sourdough starter has already been rising. As you can see, there's a lot of activity in here. You see the bubbles. That's a good sign. That means the starter is active and healthy. We will actually only take half of this for the sourdough bread as a starter and put half of it in a clean glass container. So I'm going to take half of it out of this container, put it in a clean new glass container. I'm going to feed it again, and then I'm going to put it in the fridge so that it's nice and active for the next bread. The thing with sourdough is that the bacteria in this starter are keeping it from molding. But yeah, as you can see, I used this container for like 2 times now, and it starts to build some crusts here at the side, and I want to prevent it from molding or going bad. Actually, this amount is already enough to keep it alive and to propagate it again. So Just make sure that after baking bread that you always have some sourdough starter left. I feel like it's a lot of work to get the first loaf, but then afterwards, I promise, we don't have to net it anymore because we're gonna save ourselves all the folding and all the fluff that a lot of sourdough recipes contain. Nice and fluffy and sounds like this. I'm going to bake my sourdough bread in this Dutch oven. I'm so happy that I got this for only $80. Usually, like in Europe, they cost over 300 euros, so maybe like $350. And because it had some damages here on the top, which don't really bother me, I got it for $80, which is a super good price. And I'm so happy about this. It makes me so happy to bake my bread in this. But you don't necessarily need one of those. But the bread will stay more in its form and will get a better crust if you use a Dutch oven. I placed the sourdough with parchment paper straight into the Dutch oven so it doesn't stick. It will rise and bake in there, so I'm not taking it out again or folding it or anything. I leave a small gap so the bacteria can do their thing, and now it just rests for about 12 hours while we make our second loaf in the meantime. The toast loaf is actually even easier than the sourdough bread because we basically just mix it all together and let it sit for a while. Sometimes I actually even use my bread maker, but today we are going to do it in a bowl because I know that a lot of you guys don't have a bread maker, but if you're considering a bread maker, I can link you the one that we have. We are very satisfied with it. It's just really comfortable because you just throw everything in and it does the work by itself. But today we are going to use the bowl. For the toast loaf, I'm only using white flour because it makes the bread softer and a little bit more toast-like. For both loaves, I use filtered water since the tap water here has a bit too much chlorine for my taste, and I just don't want that in my bread. I had to learn this the hard way. I'm always buying these big packages of yeast at Sam's Club, but I didn't know for a while that if I open this package and I just store it in the cabinet, the yeast will go active and go bad. And yeah, you actually have to really close it tightly and put it in the fridge or even in the freezer to keep the yeast active and alive. So I was wondering like, hey, why is my bread not rising anymore? If you also have issues with your yeast not rising your bread, maybe your yeast just is expired or is not active anymore. Yeah, I had to learn that the hard way, so save yourself the money and the frustration and put your yeast in the fridge. Same procedure as with the sourdough bread. I'm letting the dough rise directly in the baking pan because I want this to be fast and easy. So after mixing everything together, I just cover it with a kitchen towel and let it sit in a warm place for about 2 or 3 hours.
A few moments later.
Once both loaves have risen, they go straight into the oven. Normally I bake either 2 toast loaves or 2 sourdough loaves to save on electricity. That way it's maybe around 230 for 2 full loaves. I usually freeze 1 loaf and it also works better with the rising times. Before the bread goes in, I sprinkle a little water on it in the Dutch oven because the steam helps to create a better crust, and I also place a pizza stone under the Dutch oven to keep the bottom from getting too dark. That's a really good tip. A lot of people say you should let the bread cool down before slicing it, but seriously, isn't that the best part, eating it warm? I like mine with hummus and avocado. Let me know what your favorite bread spread is. So that was basically it, my cheap, easy German bread recipes. Please, sourdough, please don't come at me. I know that this is not the totally perfect and typical way how sourdough bread is usually made, but it's just the easiest and fastest and cheapest way that works for us as a family, and it still tastes amazing, so who cares? If you try one of the recipes, let me know in the comments how they turned out. And if you want more frugal, cheap German recipes from my family, or everyday frugal, minimalistic decluttering tips from a German living in the US, then please subscribe to this channel. I would be super happy to have you around. And make sure to subscribe also to my newsletter, which you can find on my website, because I'm planning to publish a cookbook with all my grandma's recipes. So if you don't want to miss that, make sure that you check out my website. And then we will see each other in the next video.